All right. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. How's it going?
It's good. I
I
was trying to do the video, but I'm having um trouble doing the video.
okay. I guess
Oh,
there.
really? Okay. Hi.
How's it going?
I'm good.
Now we were having issues with our time difference. I was just trying to make it as convenient for your time
Okay.
and the Zoom interview time. It said we're the good news is we're here
Okay.
and I'm not going to tie you up for the entire night. It should be about a 30-minute interview, and I'll let you get
Okay.
going about your way. I came across you because of your comment on one of my uh, TikTok videos, I believe. And
Yes.
this is your moment to share your experience along with what you came back with after your near death experience. A little bit about me. I've been doing these near death interviews for the last few years, and I learn vicariously through everybody who's ventured to the other side. And it's like I think you all have knowledge that the world needs to hear, you know?
Yeah.
And this is your stage to do just
Yeah.
that. As you do that, I'm gonna take notes and I'm gonna allow you to introduce yourself.
Okay. My name is Catherine Toto. I'm from Texas. I'm from Austin, but I reside in the DFW right now. Um, this accident happened, I would say, in 1997. I think it was around August of 1997. Um, it was a really bad car accident that it was a bunch of events that led up to it, but it was a really bad car accident. It was a car accident that was at 120 miles an hour. And it was me and another girl, but we survived that accident and the impact was 120 miles an hour. So I don't even know how I survived it, but I do know that all I remember from that part was when we hit and we hit hard, our car turned back around. It swerved and went back into the freeway. It was a really bad accident. And when it did that, um, I don't know what happened. All I know is I my head hit the dashboard and I was gone. From what I remember after I hit my head, I saw nothing but black and I was very aware. I was aware that I wasn't in my body, but I saw black. And then all of a sudden I just see this light that I haven't been able to recreate that light before, but it was a light that I haven't been able to really see again. But it was this light, and all I remember was I just wanted to levitate all the way towards it. And I did. I just kept going and I kept going towards it. And I saw this man standing at an opening. The opening is what I wanted to get to. There was an opening behind him, and like it looked like a portal to me. It was a perfect opening, and it was another Earth. And I tried so hard to go past him. But this person, whoever he was, he just kept looking at me. He was vibrant in a way, like he seemed like he glowed a little bit, but he just looked at me. And as I got closer to him, he looked at me and he just pushed his hand out. He pushed his hand out like this. And when he pushed his hand out like this, I felt myself being pushed back into my body. And so I just, when he pushed me back in, I felt I don't even know how to explain it. Like I was just pushed, like your bodily self was pushed and you're falling. That's kind of how it felt. And I ended up back in my body. And when I awoke, it was like complete chaos and everything. And I had people trying to get us out of the car and help us and everything like that. And from there, I ended up going to the hospital. But I've thought about it every day since 1997 about what I saw. And what I can remember is that I say, like, I was 100% conscious and I knew I wasn't in my body. Um, the world around me as I was going to the light was, I don't know, I can't even explain it. It's just like, it's all an illusion. Does that make sense? It's kind
No,
of like it's just kind of like it was an illusion almost. And when I saw this person, I really wanted to go behind him. I really wanted to know what was that portal. So ever since surviving that, I have seen things on and off my whole life. And just recently, I came into a spiritual awakening last year, and I'm seeing way more. I'm seeing way more stuff. Um, like what it like when I had the near death experience. I'm seeing stuff from then of what I saw. I'm just seeing a lot of things that are relating back to the near death experience and what I saw. And that's what made me started researching portals and other realms and stuff like that because of what I saw. It I don't know, like at first I thought when I first saw it, I thought it was like Jesus or so. I didn't know who it was, which made my back then at 17, I was more confused about religion. But I was raised a certain way. I was raised Christian, and I knew there was something wrong with it. So I just kept looking for myself. And then when I had the near death experience, I started researching more from then on and started researching portals and stuff like that because that's exactly what it looked like. It looked like an entry into another world, into another earth that's nicer than this earth, if that makes any sense.
so what have
So,
you crossed in your research with these portals?
um, they exist. They do exist. You have to have certain frequencies. I have seen these other worlds. They do exist. There are other galaxies out there. They are out there. I don't know where I was going in my near death experience. That's what I would like to know, where I was going. What were they, what made them decide, like, no, you need to go back, or um, no, you can't see this yet. And I don't know. But back in 1997, research for me was a little bit harder to come by because we really didn't have internet and stuff then. It was just barely coming out. And I didn't know what to do with the information, so I never really shared it because it was very taboo to have this type of experience back in the 90s. So I never talked about it. I didn't even talk about it with the girl I survived with because I don't even know what she saw. But um I don't know if she had passed in the accident, but I know I had passed in the accident because I wasn't conscious at all. Um I and that's what I had told somebody. If I wasn't pushed back in my body, I wouldn't be here because my head hit the dashboard so hard because of the impact and the airbag and everything like that. If I wasn't pushed back in, I know I wouldn't have been here. But yes, I have seen, the portals to entries to other places like I did with that. I'm just not completely understanding it. I'm not understanding how to completely get there or how to completely see it all the time. It's like I'm able to see it, but then it dissipates and I'm not able to see it anymore.
Okay.
So within the last 2 years, yes, it's been even more. My NDE has been coming back to me in visions and stuff like that, and I'm not understanding why. I don't know if it's part of the spiritual awakening, if it's part of something I'm supposed to see or a bigger picture. I'm not sure.
Now, I want to get your thoughts on this because going back to the portals, just humor me for a second with us possibly believing that this world is kind of like a toroidal shape or it's like an apple
Yeah,
and there's a form of a dome over it or a firmament. Now, what if these portals are the way beyond the dome that's containing us? And what if
yeah.
they're exit to other worlds?
That's what I've wondered, and that's what I've. Well, I opened my third eye last year, and it's been. I thought it would be a nice experience. It really hasn't been because it is like you're shedding your old skin of what you knew, and you're learning new stuff. And when this happened, I started seeing more portals, and I've seen worlds I don't even understand. I don't even understand how that's a world. So they've been very interesting to me because I do think I do know they exist somehow. Of course, it's just, getting them to do that. But I have noticed when I listen to certain frequencies, I'll see more. It's like certain frequencies open certain portals. So certain times, yes, I can see them. Sometimes when I sleep and I think astral traveling and stuff, I see stuff like that, but of course I don't know the whole thing to how to get to it or make it open or anything like that. But I've seen quite a few, and that's why I had to go back and really look at the experience. And I've even taken a meditation to remember it, to try to remember exactly how the opening looked, because it was just so surreal to see something like that. And then I hear so many people talk about their near death experiences, and I'm like, dang, that was nothing like mine, because I haven't heard many people talk about they see like another world or another entry, and that's what I was seeing, like another entry elsewhere. But the person in front of it wouldn't let me go past them. Like, it's almost like, are you supposed to be here? You're not supposed to be here. You have to go back. That's almost what it felt like. It felt kind of transactional in a way, like, oh, you're not supposed to be here. You're supposed to be gone.
He was like
So
a gatekeeper, right?
yeah, he was just there. He was glowing a little bit, but he had a regular face. He had hair down to his shoulders. It was kind of like a a curly type coarse hair down to his shoulders about here. And the clothes he was wearing seemed a little bit of like illuminating, but he was just standing to make sure that nobody crossed over into that other part, pretty
Mm.
much. And
So
there was a story that you said a while back that happened just to me. And I'm like, well, you didn't, it was some months back that you said it, but when you said the story, I was like, wait a minute, that happened to me. And I still don't understand what had happened with, I don't know if it was astral projection or lucid. I'm not sure.
I,
It was a story that happened with you, that
was it
happened with you too.
the one where I talked about traveling back in time to my younger self? Was it that one?
There was one where you said that yeah, you were with somebody, but the person said you're not supposed to be here.
Oh, that was a dream that I had, and that's what I was thinking of when you were talking about portals. Because
That's what happened to me, and to this day, I don't know what it was or who they were. It was the same thing.
right,
Um, so when you talked about it, I was like, oh my God, that happened to me. And I'm trying to wonder who those two guys are now, because I don't know what happened. I was asleep. I'm in this room. And when I come in this room, there's two men just standing there, and they look at me and they look at each other. And he looks at me, and only one of them speaks, and he goes, you're not supposed to be here. And so he come and grab my arm. The other guy comes and grabs the other arm, and they walk me out backwards. And when I wake up coughing and not able to breathe in my body. This was around 4 a.m. It never happened again, but I was like, that sounds exactly like what he said in his story.
yes, I remember, because believe it or not, that was a dream, and
Wow,
usually
really?
they tend to go away, but this particular dream, I can recall it clear as day to this day, and that's why I don't believe that was a true dream. I believe that was a vision of me functioning on a higher frequency or on a higher plane that I
Yeah,
wasn't able to access it yet, as if a video game that you have to complete certain levels before
yeah.
you could get to the next stage of the video game. And that's what that felt like, because I remember it. It was I don't know if you're familiar with Star Wars, but it was like a sand city that looked like Tatooine, and
Yeah.
lived in these sand like huts. And in the middle of the sky was a portal to other worlds, but it was like an Inception version of the city that was inverted on itself. So it was like as above, so below.
Oh,
And
okay.
the city was a mirror image of itself. So what's up is down, but in between the sky was a portal to escape. And I remember running into this guy. He's playing the piano. It's a frequency music, which I believe is what taps you into these higher realms. He's playing a very harmonic tone. And when I entered, he stopped playing and he ran away from me. He goes upstairs and he says, I catch him and he's like, "You're not supposed to be here yet. I'm your
Mm,
I'm your future stepbrother-in-law." And I'm like, "What?" And then I
yeah.
wake up. So I
Yeah,
think
these people wouldn't even tell me who they were. They're just like, you can't be here. You're not supposed to be here. And I'm like, I don't even know who they are. I've never seen them before. They were young guys, maybe about 18, 19. They're just like, you can't be here. And then they just walked me out. And I just remember waking up. I feel like they gave me something. Does that make sense? They gave me something to where I couldn't go back. That's almost what it felt like. Is I woke up coughing, not able to breathe. It took me a minute to get back to sleep, but then I've never seen it again.
Now, let me ask you this. Are you familiar with the Archon Soul Trap?
I've heard of it, but I don't know much about it.
So what that is malevolent. It's kind of the Gnostic teachings where these malevolent beings trick humanity and they kind
Hmm.
of like them into the reincarnation cycle. So they'll say, oh, you need a life review, which this new age spirituality or just spirituality teaches about recut like having a life review of all the stuff that you did in your past lives, and you got to come back and fix that karma. Well, that's a form of gaslight from these archons because the goal is not to come back, and they're
Okay.
stopping you from moving on to the next level.
Okay.
So they want you to come back so they can harvest your soul's energy. So Earth is essentially a form of a prison planet. I mean, think about it. You look at what's going on overseas in the Middle East, how you got the murder, war, the famine. This is almost like, why would we choose to come back here? Like, why would I gaslight? And they say, oh, it's for spiritual knowledge. But according to the Gnostics, these malevolent beings or these aliens harvest our souls for energy. And they make us forget the divine spark that lies within us, keeping us from escaping. So it's like
Mhm.
you saying that is like, that's what came to my mind, where these beings know you function on such a higher frequency that they take away what is tapping you in because
Mhm.
they know that you know how to escape. So they want to
Okay.
be a form of a gatekeeper. Now, I'm not
Mhm.
saying that's what it is, but that's what comes to my mind hearing you say gatekeepers and thinking back to my dream, a form of a gatekeeper keeping
Mhm.
you from this next level or this next octave. And you know
Yeah.
what's ironic? Last week, I had another interview with a woman who had a near-death experience from a car accident. I think she was going 140 miles an hour, and
Yeah.
she explained how there was this being that was in the car prior to the accident, and it kind of gave her a sense of peace prior to the accident happening. So my thing is what was going on in your life at the time that you were traveling 120 miles on a road? Were you driving?
No, my friend was driving. We had sold the car actually. I had a very bad life. One of the reasons I was in the car was to escape abuse. And we just went like we weren't thinking. I was 17. I was still a baby. I was mad at life and mad at the world. I didn't want to be here anymore. And I remember the incident. We had cassette tapes then, and we I remember there was a Triple Six Mafia. I don't know if you know who they are, but Triple Six Mafia
Three,
just come out with a new album then called The End or something like that. And I was playing it, and she's like, "Girl, I don't think we should be playing this music while we're driving." And I'm like, it's good." And you know what? We crashed on that album. We crashed at 100. See what she did, and the thing is, she almost hit an 18-wheeler gas truck. The reason we didn't hit the 18 wheelers because she swerved last minute, and we hit a car that was parked on the side, and it was a impact of the 120 miles an hour. Um, we just were doing really bad. With me, I think my situation was worse because I was raised in really bad abuse, and when I left, I felt like that was the only way to get away from it. Now, after I survived the accident, my life was really bad for about a year because we injured somebody else. And I feel like that was my karma. I feel like I had a couple of years of bad karma after the accident because we shouldn't have did what, we did and we survived it. But it was just because I was young and I was really mad at life and mad at the situation I was in. And but no, she was the one driving. She was like, "Oh, I wonder how it'll feel to ump it up to 120 miles an hour." And she was 16, I was 17. So it was just it was something that I wish I could take back, but I know it's something that had to happen, you know? So it was just a really bad life.
now, you addressed how you came back with gifts after
Mhm.
that. and I guess out of as time progressed, these gifts have heightened, and it's just so weird how your interview parallels with the last one I just did, where a woman said she was escaping abuse and she hit a truck. Well, she hit the truck. You didn't, but she said she was driving real fast, just trying to escape, and there
You know
was a
what we hit? I don't mean to interrupt you. Do you know what we hit? I
what?
hate talking about it, but you know who we hit a state trooper. Like it was really bad. I've tried to go back and find clip-its because I've always wanted to know if he was okay. I know that I know I had family that used to abuse me. They checked up on him after the accident, and supposedly he was doing well, but he just wasn't I don't think he was able to drive anymore. So that's who we hit. He had just given somebody a ticket. I remember seeing it. He had just given somebody a ticket. That person drove off. He was doing the remnants of the ticket, and she swerved to keep from hitting the 18-wheeler, and she hit him. But we
Mm.
didn't know there was nobody there. You know what I'm saying? Um, it was just a very freak quick accident, and I don't know. I had felt guilty for a long time, like I should have died in the accident because you know I'm a big empath, and I don't like to think that I hurt anybody else like that. You know what I'm saying? It bothers me. I just, hope everybody's okay from it.
So the I guess what I want to know is, what do you feel is your purpose back in this planet after that experience? Was anything
Um, Now I honestly think it's to help people. Um, I don't push anything off that I do on anybody, but I just, let them know I don't believe in their religion and or stuff like that. If they want to hear it, I'll tell them. But I think I'm here to try to start raising people's vibrations, maybe to show them that I don't know, I feel like I've been through so much that I can teach somebody else, that I can help them. And I kind of feel like that's the reason I'm still here,
to
or
help
I would like to. Yeah.
shift the collective?
Yes.
Yeah,
I
I
do
mean,
think that. I honestly think too I was forced here. I will go to my grave and die on that hill that they forced me here. I feel like I was forced here by, whoever runs things. I do feel I was forced here. No, you need to go do this. I just feel I was forced. I've had weird dreams and visions too where, you know, like I was forced into something, and I do feel like I was pushed into earth. I just don't believe I volunteered for this. It's
right.
hard to believe that I volunteered for this. But I do
That's
think I'm here to help people and raise their vibrations.
so that's actually my next series of videos. I introduced it with the escape in the Matrix, but it's getting out of this prison planet, going into Gnostic teachings and the Archon soul trap, which is very ironic how that came to mind as you talked about. No, I can't.
Yeah.
You can't go here.
Uh-huh.
And what Nikola Tesla says, if you understand energy, frequency, and vibration, you will have the keys to the universe. What is
Yeah.
music? A form of frequency that connects our mind, our consciousness, and we
Yes.
hit the right tune, we can enter into different octaves or different
Mm.
realms, like what you did. And a few months but prior to earlier this last year or this year, I remember a woman said that she had a DMT experience where
Mhm.
her experience, she was singing and she saw portals, like, and that was the portal to the ancestor realm. So it's just, you are definitely on it with the music connecting you to those higher realms. And maybe if this archon thing isn't a thing, maybe you were sent back here to remember how to access these realms again. Like, we're just like, okay,
Can I
you
tell you what I've seen? I don't tell anybody except maybe my immediate family because I don't think people will believe me. But I've seen cartoon world that does exist. It's a world. It's scary to me though, because when the portal opened, I remember it is what it starts off. It starts off like this, and then it opens, and then I see it, and it's a full cartoon land, and it creeped me out. And I don't like seeing cartoon land. I've only seen it around 3 times. Just about a couple of weeks ago, I saw like a portal opening, and it shows this other realm, and it the person had a TV as a head. They looked right at me, and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to see this. And I exited. I don't know what it was. It's what it is they open and I see it. And it's not a dream. It's actually me seeing it, but then it'll close up and dissipate and I don't see it no more. So I've seen so many weird worlds that I'm like, what is this? That I just don't understand it.
It's like that movie, Everything is Happening at Once, where they
Yes.
keep going into the different worlds where she has sausages for hands, or she has this and she looks like this in this world. Like it's kind of tying along the lines of that. Like, what is science fiction? It isn't really fiction. Like, there is a
I don't
possibility
think it's fiction no more.
you
Yeah.
are different worlds. And it's unique how people who have psychedelic experiences or near death experiences kind of experience something similar. Because like if you were to say you took psychedelics and you experienced that, then that is so believable. But you have near death experiences that trigger these dreams or these portals. So now it's like, there's always a correlation between the two. And I think that you definitely, are you an artist? Like, have you ever thought about just drawing out what you
I
see?
yeah, I used to draw. I draw and I do like I do very pretty nails that are artistic and lashes that are artistic. And yeah, I've always done that, but I've never been able to get my niche and make money out of it, you know? But yes, I've always been like that.
Well, I think that this is a good way for you to probably venture back into it. We're in this era of social media being entrepreneurs, where if you showcase your art or you showcase your creativity, it can take you somewhere, you know?
Yeah.
Like I feel as if we are made in the divine creator's image, so we're meant to co-create with the creator. And what is art? Like it's a form of genius, it's a form of
Mhm.
expressing yourself, that this creativity unlocks within you memories that you don't know you have. And if you were to paint these worlds or draw them, I think that you really would be able to tell a story,
Yeah.
but you would like people would be able to interpret it.
hmm I've been thinking about it. I might start. Um, I had another thing when these portals open, the people see me. Does that make sense?
So it's like
Every
they
every time a portal opens, and like I'm looking at a person, they're looking directly at me. So like for example, the guy that I saw with the TV as his head, he was like, let's say he was sitting on the sidewalk facing this way, and I looked at him from the side. He turned automatically and looked at me. So it's like all these beings know I'm there, or they know something's there, and it creeps me out because I'm like, how are they seeing me? What are they seeing? And it trips me out because I every time they're looking at me. Regular people, I've seen regular people when like I'm asleep, and then all of a sudden I'll see a portal vision opening, and I'm seeing a people in their house, and they're just talking, doing whatever, and I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm looking in, and then I'll go out. There's no telling what I do when I'm asleep, and I don't. Sometimes I remember it, and then other times I won't remember nothing.
you know
So
it's
sometimes like I said, and I've seen myself in other portals. It's weird. I saw a little girl that was me, but it wasn't me when I was this age. Does that make sense? It wasn't me back in 1980. This looked like me back in like 1905 or something, like if that makes sense.
like
So many, yeah, seeing so many weird things like that.
yeah, I feel like you are tapping into not only just different worlds but different timelines of you.
Yeah, and I don't even know how I do it. I don't know how to control it. Um, I've been trying to lucid dream again. I can't tap myself back into that, but other things I can see. Um, for a while now, I've been trying to talk to dolphins. I know that sounds funny, But I saw that there was a sign up in some countries that say you're not allowed to telepathically talk with dolphins. So that intrigued me. So I tried to start telepathically talking with dolphins when I sleep. I haven't got one, but I got a hammerhead shark. I was like, I didn't call a hammerhead. That was weird. So I looked up hammerhead sharks, and they're born under the zodiac of an Aries, which is my zodiac. So I was like, okay, maybe that was why I saw it, but I haven't been able to talk to a dolphin or anything. I just became intrigued. When they say you can't do it, I'm like, well, why can't I do it? What are you trying to hide?
I know
So,
dolphins are very advanced beings. I know that
yeah,
for I never knew there was a thing saying don't telepathically talk to them. So that is interesting.
yeah.
Um, but
I do. I try. Like I've been wanting to go to the ocean so I can just kind of sit there and see what I can do. I've noticed now when I go out to nature and do walks, sometimes nature doesn't say nothing when I'm in it, and it makes me like, why is nothing happening? Or um I just look at nature and everything differently now than what I used to because I see everything now as like a sentient being that gets alive. It's here to tell us a story and we don't listen.
mhm, like everything's connected. We
Mhm.
are all one,
Yeah.
and you are seeing the different versions. Like maybe what if like that TV version of reality that you saw? What if that was you? You were looking at just a different version of you.
Mhm. It could have been.
It was
Um,
on the TV.
yeah, it was a TV guy. And the other thing that I also seen, I was looking up at it. So I'm down here and I'm looking up, and what it was it had like a bird body. I mean, it was a bird head and like maybe this body, but it was a human. The rest was human body. And I remember looking up at it real quick, and I got kind of a little creeped out, and I zoomed out. I left it, and it looked like past drawings of the Anunnaki, the way that it looked,
Mm.
like with the eagle type head and then the broad type, but the rest was a human. I don't know. I saw that briefly, and I've also briefly seen. I didn't know what it was. My daughter told me it was the Matrix. I told her, I said, well, I saw this vision, and all it was these flashing green numbers doing this and this and this. And my daughter's like, that's the Matrix.
It's a
So
drink of
that looked weird. I didn't like seeing it. It looks like a bunch of coding on Earth. It kind of, it just freaked me out a little bit. And I'm like, what the hell am I doing seeing the Matrix? Like, I didn't even know what it was. I just thought I thought it was an E. Like I said, it looked like a coating and everything was moving, but it looked weird.
there is
So,
a physicist at the University of Maryland, Dr. Gates, who studied the universe in a way, and he studied how the universe speaks to us in codes or a drink of codes. And these codes are error correcting codes, and it shows how the universe gives us downloads from these codes. Like, and it just makes me think of how we are all literally connected to the divine infinite mind. That's why collective consciousness is a thing, and why you can have an idea and I can have an idea, and you're like, you know what? I was just thinking of that because we're all connected to these codes that are constantly being downloaded to us from the ether.
yeah,
So I really think that you definitely stumbled across some stuff in your experiences. And the fact that you came across my account and I talk about everything along the lines of this, I'm very open minded to hearing what people say, especially kids. Like we're so
mhm,
quick to brush off kids and they're talking about past lives and nobody wants to like acknowledge like this kid is talking about something. It's not just imagination. These kids talk about imaginary friends. It's not imaginary. It's they were closer to the veil. And what I witnessed as a firefighter is people who are closer to the veil, they start seeing dead relatives or they start seeing beings and you're just like,
yeah,
all right, you listen to them, whether usually people who are about to go are people who just came in this world, share the same experience. But as we progress through this matrix, it's like we forget how to progress through the veil. And you are remembering how to access this veil. And I think what you're reminding me of is I don't know if you've seen a new episode, the new season of Loki. where
Yeah.
he he was able to timeline jump, and the purpose of the ending was for him to recognize how to control his timeline shifting, which is what you are doing, and just not really aware
So
that you're.
do you remember when I told you my dog died in March? Um, our dog died unexpectedly. Like she got sick Friday. By Monday, 8 a.m., she was dead. Like it was weird the way it happened. Um, on my birthday, I saw her. And I'm not talking about a dream. I don't know if I created my own world, but I went to sleep on my birthday. And when I woke up, um, my kids were in the room and my fiance, we were all in the room. And I'm like, oh my God, there's Peppa. And I get down on the floor and I'm petting her. And everybody else gets down on the floor and pets her. And it was real. And when I woke up, the room had went back to normal and she wasn't here no more. So
Hmm.
I've seen her twice like that. One time in like probably a dream state. That was a dream, but the other two weren't. And I still don't know how I was able to like create a world just to see her. And she was alive. Like she was even in her little jacket and everything. It was very weird because like I said, it wasn't a dream and it wasn't a vision. It's like I created it to say goodbye to her. But of course, nobody else, they're like, wish we would have been there. Like, we all were there, but it was like, of course, you all aren't gonna know or remember. Y'all weren't there like that. But it's like I created it to say goodbye to her. Um, and I don't even know how I did that. It's like I'm doing stuff, but I don't know how I'm doing it. So
Oh,
I can't create it to do it again.
I was I was gonna say, I'd recommend every time you do something like that, write down the event, the
Yeah,
entire start to finish, and see if you can, after writing down multiple events where you travel into these different timelines, possibly see what is reoccurring in my life that's triggering. Like what happened today? And you start to think as you write it down, like, okay. And that might give you the key to just naturally doing it now that you know what is triggering it.
yeah.
And that's how you unlock your gift. I
So
think that
the movie Get Out isn't a lie either. Everything they show in the movie Get Out is real. I don't know if you've seen it. I don't want to talk if you haven't seen the movie,
I
but
have
in the movie where he fell back and
into the
he's like in this coma-like state, that's what I'm in. Um, that I'll fall back into that black void, and I do exactly what he was trying to do to get back up. So it's like I think almost every movie and everything ever out is real now because I've seen it. I even saw that one creature that is mystical. Well, I don't even know if it's a creature, but it's the one that has like a siren on its head, like, and it's a human body. I've actually seen that too, and I think they just call it Siren Head or something, but that one was pretty
fall
creepy. Yeah,
and
I've seen that.
ahead as a siren. Yeah.
It's like a siren and the rest is a body of. I mean, I didn't see it here, of course, but I saw it elsewhere, and I'm like, that exists. Okay, there's just so many things that I keep seeing that's like blowing my mind that I know most people wouldn't believe because they can't see it. So
Now, you said something about Get Out, which kind of segued into what we were talking about earlier, where he
yeah,
goes in a sunken place, but you know what gets him there is hypnosis. Something
yes,
triggers into that sunken place. So
hmm
something definitely triggering you when you go to these different destinations. And I think writing them down, the experience as a form of a journal, you'll
okay.
start to see, okay, I just traveled here, but what was going on that day in my life? Was I pissed off at something? Did I eat this? Like you start to randomly recall other aspects of your day that led up to that vision. And then you do it enough, you start collecting these triggers and you're like, oh,
I
um,
had a necklace taken off my neck too while I slept. My necklace is gone. I had went to the park that day with the necklace on. Well, that same day I came home, went to sleep, the necklace was on. And I saw a vision of somebody holding my necklace, but when I woke up, the necklace was gone off my neck.
mm,
It hasn't been seen since. I did ask, like, I kind of ask out, like, hey, can somebody tell me what happened to my necklace? Nothing. I haven't seen it. It's been gone. I'm like, I don't understand. I've never lost anything in a realm before. Didn't make sense to me.
It's funny you say that. I just lost my yin and yang necklace about my last day at work, and I was telling my girlfriend, I'm like, I can't find my necklace, and this necklace had I told the people at my station, I'm like, this necklace is worth more than gold because of the sentimental value it has.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody find it, so they looked around, they didn't find it. I had a dream last night of where my necklace would be. And I said, it's gone. But in my dream, my necklace was sitting in the top of my locker, folded in clothes and a t-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I ended up going to the station. I was like, I gotta find this. I something just told me, just look in the locker because I had the dream. I
Yeah.
found the locker,
Yeah.
but it wasn't top. It was in the bottom of the locker, folded in a t-shirt, just how I saw it in my mind's eye.
It's like you
So
saw it. Yeah.
yeah, and I felt like I was so happy because I found it because it's just like the sentimental value that this necklace holds. Like you realize
Mm-hmm.
how you appreciate something when it's gone, and
Yeah.
that's that's kind of what it was. Where it's like I had the vision and I found it, and I'm grateful. And now I feel like I can function again because this
Mm-hmm.
is what kept me grounded in a way. And was your necklace a form of a grounding tool?
Well, the thing was I cut off my mother last year. My mother had given me that necklace for my birthday. The day I found out that my mother had lied to me about everything was the day my third eye opened. It was the exact night, the same day. She had given me that necklace, and I had struggled with forgiving her and everything. That's when the necklace disappeared. It disappeared around that time.
That's
So
it.
yeah, I went out and I got another one. I got one that kind of looked like it, but it's not the same one. Um, and I just wear it every once in a while. But also, I had gold rings. All the rings disappeared. Um, but I don't think it disappeared like the necklace did. It's just, I have things that come up missing a lot. I have things that come up broken. I don't know what it is. What I was trying to look for while you were talking is I had an eyelash serum, and I went to go use it one day, and the middle was taken out and it was broke. The middle was completely taken out, and I still have it. I won't throw it away because I'm like, there's no way, nothing broke that eyelash serum. Especially if it would have broke, and leaked, it would have just went everywhere. But the whole middle was missing. There's no way it could have been missing, and somebody had to take it out.
Oh,
So I've had little things like that happen to me. It's almost like I'm being messed with. Does that make sense? Like sometimes I feel like I'm being messed with by
well,
things or
oh,
entities.
yeah, like the ones that hide socks or something. Like they take the stuff that inconveniences you. Like you're like, I know I put my keys here, but I feel like as you start functioning on a higher vibration, you start attracting in these different energies of different things that can come into your life and start messing with you in a way, whether it be good or bad. But it's just like
I
you
saw
are.
the Earlier this year, I saw the Grim Reaper in my room. And it wasn't a dream. It was me looking at him. I was seeing him through my third eye, and he was just standing there. And I was asleep, of course, when I saw him. But when I saw him, I got so scared in my vision of seeing him that fell off the bed. I thought that he was going to touch me. He scared the bejesus out of me. It's the only time I've seen him. He's very scary in person. I don't like seeing him. Um, but I've been seeing all sorts of weird things like that. My daughter, see, I'm a fire sign. My daughter's an earth sign. She's a Virgo. Okay. She was born on the 13th of September. And I think she just opened her third eye, but she doesn't see half the negativity that I see. I see so much bad stuff and stuff that I don't want to see. And then she sees all the nice stuff and the pretty, and she'll be in fields of flowers. And I'm like, what? Like, I can't ever see that with my third eye. They're like, nah, you're not going to see that. But she really sees nice, pretty stuff. And I see stuff like I've seen the Grim Reaper. That was one of the scariest things I've seen, I think. Even out of the TV head, all that, that was pretty scary because I didn't know what the significance of it was. I guess that's my thing. What's the significance of you coming to see me? I don't get a lot of answers.
Yeah, because I mean, death, like if you see death, then it's usually coming for you, but
Yeah,
it's not still here. And it didn't, how long ago was this?
that was some months back.
Okay,
Um,
yeah.
it was some months back. Last year was worse than the things I was seeing. Like I would see portals open, and one time this portal opened to this. It looked like the Amazon rainforest. I ain't gonna lie, it looked scary. It was really dark, and all I saw was it open, and I was looking, and there was a finger doing this. So I just exited out. I didn't even know what that was. It wasn't a human finger. So I just exited out, and like I tell my daughter, I wish I could just see prettier stuff. Like, I don't know, but I see everything, stuff that I don't want to see. And I don't know if the near death experience had anything to do with the things I'm seeing now because it's kind of coming to light for me. But I will say that the portals and stuff do exist.
I
Every
believe it.
and
Hard.
I know the government knows that, and I know they watch social media so they can see if anybody's trying to do anything and open anything. And that's sometimes why I don't post anything or say anything, because I just,
You
do I
feel it.
really want them to focus on me? Or, yeah, like
Uh,
I do believe they're out there. They do out there. They watch the social media, because I've seen people who have seen things just not come back on the app no more. And I'm like, okay, preferably the people who've seen the giants. A couple of
John,
them have went missing. Yeah. So I don't know. I try not to post a lot, but then I'm like, I feel like that's the way to raise the collective, though.
it
So I'm kind
is.
of stuck.
They silence us all. They're doing all
Yeah.
this stuff to press the collective, but the collective is going to still rise. And
Mhm.
where it's people like you that are contributing to the collective rising, sharing your thoughts. And I appreciate you for joining this interview on
Yeah.
your night. And I'm not going to tie you up too much, but I want
Okay.
to close on this with asking you for a message for the collective before we go. What
Mhm.
is what is being channeled to you for the collective to know?
Um, Life isn't what people think it is. You're not on here just to live. You're here to have a human experience and learn. You're here to raise your frequencies. I mean, your vibration. You're. We're not meant to do the things that we do here. We're not meant to pay to live, and we're not meant to pay to die. It's like this is not the way it was supposed to be, and everybody's lost focus living here. And I tell everybody, you know, even the people that are hateful, you're going to find out when you're not here on earth no more what life really was. I tell them all that. You're going to find out that it's not what you thought it was. Um, People that are religious and, push it down people's throats, I tell them the same thing. This isn't what life is supposed to be about. And everybody's going to find out. That's the thing. Everybody's going to find out in the long run what life really was here. And I don't know. I wish people would do better. Like, that we could all raise our frequencies and be where we're supposed to be, because the earth right now isn't where it's supposed to be at all. We're keeping it down completely with the
I,
war and everything. And it's going to get bad. It's going to get worse. So that's what I'm saying. That's why I try to, on my end, like I said, I'm an empath. I try to do that. I try to help people. I try to raise their vibrations and try to show them that there's better. But people, like I said, people are going to find out the hard way, the ones that don't believe.
well, that was actually beautiful. I felt that because I do believe that our earth is currently in a state of lust, looking for love. And once
Yeah.
we find love, that's when the collective shifts Christ consciousness. We have to go through love to get to that Christ consciousness. But there are powers that be that rule this world, and they're the ones who are giving us this state of lust, or ruled by ego, claiming
Yeah.
land longer when at the end of the day, we are one.
Yeah.
So fighting you, why am I fighting me? I'm fighting against myself. And it's like once people realize that, I think the world would be a better place. And I wholeheartedly feel your message. So I just want to thank you once again for coming on. I'm sorry for the confusion.
Fine.
It was great finally getting to talk to you. We've been trying to plan this for a while,
Yeah.
and we finally got it done. I look
Okay.
forward to more messages from you and how you will continue to shift the collective consciousness.
Yes. Like I say, I gave you my number just in case. So um if you ever want to talk again or whatever, let me know. I always have new stuff to talk about because it's stuff that I see all the time.
Yeah, I see you comment on almost every video. I
Yeah.
don't know what video drew you to my account. Like I
And
think
I tell everybody you're the one that gave me the spiritual awakening. Your account was the first one I um passed, and I started listening to your videos because you have to remember when I first found your account, I was very stuck in between God and religion and wondering like if this is true, then why is this? And then I came across your account and I just started watching and listening. And you were the one who gave me the spiritual awakening. And then when everything happened with my mother, that's when my third eye just completely opened. I didn't know that's what was happening at the moment. I had to look it up, but found out that it opened um, because of I guess the trauma of finding out stuff about my mother. So watching your videos, I did research off your videos, and there's another guy I listened to on here too. I think his name is Ben Carson. Is that his
Billy.
name? Yeah, I think Billy Carson or something like that.
Yeah,
I started to him and reading, looking up his research, and then I just stayed on that side of TikTok and I just kept researching, and come to find out everything we've learned about the Bible, most of it is a lie. You know, about the 144,000 sealed, come to find out it's not 144,000 people. It's your it's the vibration you have to vibrate at 144,000. Because I remember questioning Christianity my whole life. I'm like, 144,000 people is not a lot of people. Like, I always questioned everything about the Bible, and now it all makes sense. So I just did a lot of research off like what you would tell me. I mean, now you tell me, but like off your videos, and then off Billy, and then there was a couple of other people that I started also listening to and looking into. I Dolores Dolores Cannon, her, and another lady, because everything that she talks about is kind of like what happened, like what is in the NDE with my NDE. The only thing I wish my NDE would have been different is I wish he would have spoke to me instead of just eye contact. That's my only take that I would like to have had different.
did he not? He didn't communicate with you in a form of a telepathic way, or it was just
No, just eyes. He just kept. I still remember his eyes and his hair. He just kept looking at me, and I looked at him, but I didn't want to see him. I wanted to go behind him, and that's like I said. He just no, but I didn't hear anything coming from him telepathically. He just looked at me like, "Why are you here?" type thing. But a lot of people say, oh, they talked to me or whatever. Yeah, nobody talked to me. He just was like, just pushed me back like I wasn't supposed to be there. So, like I said, from that, I had always wanted to do more research and understand, because things about the Bible and stuff just didn't seem right to me. And then I started researching Book of Enoch and stuff like that. And people, like a lot of Christians say astrology is this and that, but people don't understand it was in the Book of Enoch. Like it was purposely left out. And people changed scriptures and people changed words. So just relearning that has been like such a it's like peeling off new skin. It is true. Relearning everything that you were taught.
the Vatican has hidden over 17 books, I believe. And it's this is my message for humanity to kind of close things out. I want the collective to question everything that they were told. Keep learning. Don't just get told something and just go with it. Look at the whole picture. Look
Mm-hmm.
into look into that religion. Look into Christianity, the different sects of Christianity, and why they are divided in their beliefs. Then
Mm-hmm.
you start to really dive into even more rabbit holes that lead you to other rabbit holes and lead you to other religions and other philosophy, where you're just like, okay, this makes sense. So I want everybody to go with their own gift of discernment, where you go what you feel. Because when I get told something, if I feel it here, that means it's resonating with me. But if I
Yeah.
don't feel, I I take it with a grain of salt. And
Hmm.
that's what I felt when I started learning about the Gnostic teachings. I started looking into Hinduism, Taoism. Like I just really started to feel what was being presented, and I started to see an overall common theme between the two of, well, not Taoism, but the Hindu philosophy of and uh escaping the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, which is similar
Hmm.
to Gnostics, going within yourself and not looking externally for a savior. When everyone gets mad and they say, "Oh yeah, it's like you are not God," I don't compare anyone to God. I'm saying we are an extension of the divine, but
Yes.
we all need to realize that we have this internal divine spark within us. And I want
Hmm.
everybody to tap into that. That was the whole motivation for writing my book, was to have everybody see that the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, sends us divine messages every single day. And it's for you to find your higher self, but you just got to pay attention. Stop
Yeah.
being distracted by this materialistic world and pay attention to the signs that the universe is presenting you.
Yeah.
Well, it was
Yeah.
great
You're
talking
right.
to you.
It's good talking to you too. Thank you.
I will be in touch, and I
Okay.
hope you tonight. And like I said, once again, I'm looking forward to every message you share that benefits the collective.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it.